Hello, cadets. All right, I want to talk to you today about the children's books. I want to make sure that you have read through the details and directions of it so that your books are going to be keepers for the next several years. For young children, one of the most profound and influential teaching tools for self concept is that of children's literature. Because, yes, they are reading stories, and yes, they are enjoying stories, and they love the pictures and they love the colors, but typically those stories are teaching them some kind of life lesson. As in, I should accept my uniqueness, I should help others, I should be kind. These are things that they learn by reading stories. What you're going to do is you're going to create a children's book that teaches a positive self concept. You get to choose what self concept that is, and you get to choose what kind of characters you put into these stories and what happens to them. So I'm going to walk through all of that. I will tell you before we get started that you will be reading these stories to actual children. I have a 9-year-old that you are going to read to. I have a niece who is in first grade and a nephew who is 4 years old. And so you will have actual children as your audience when you read these things. Yes, you're going to be turning them in. Yes, you're going to go through the process of creating them, but you will have a final product that is presented to actual real life children. All right, so let's go through what is required of you. They do need to have at least 16 pages. Now, if you're doing this electronically, that's going to translate to 16 slides with a maximum of 26. Please don't go past that. That's going to be a lot of information. All of those 16 pages have to have text and they have to have an illustration to them. Children's books include pictures. Part of learning how to read, as in when you get to go into the classroom and you get to work with elementary kids, part of learning how to read is doing something called a picture walk. And so before students can ever actually read all of the words on the page, they can kind of walk through the pictures and kind of tell what's happening from the pictures on them. Pictures are very important. The illustrations may not, if you are doing it in like an actual piece of paper, they may not be submitted in pencil because that is not finished. That's halfway doing things, and we do not halfway do things. They do need to teach a positive self concept. The cover needs to be bound as professionally as you have access to. Staples are okay, but there are better ways. I'm going to show you. There is a binder, like a project binder here. I think that Ms. Hunbear has it, and we're going to figure out if we can use that if you choose to use actual paper. Creativity is important. Yes, you are going to have an actual audience. All right, so let me show you a couple of books from last year's group. One, we have this, and this is Emily's story. The character of Emily. This is Emily. Isn't she cute? Yep. She learns a very important lesson about not bragging about being a smarty pants. At the end of the story, because all the pages have both words and pictures, at the end of the story, she uses her intelligence for good and she finds a little character named Daniel and she helps him with school because he is both new and he needs help. So that's what she learns. This one, far more colorful. This is called Blue and the New Shoes. Blue is a little mischievous. So each page, lovely. Yep. So Blue wants to buy new shoes. Blue goes to both of his parents and they say no to him. This one was fun because there is crayon background, but then these crayons themselves were cutouts. So Blue ended up getting money from his parents for something else. He got money from his grandparents for something else. He got money from a friend for something else. And finally, he goes and buys the new shoes. Everything's good until Mama and Daddy say where they come from. And then, yeek. In the end, Blue has to ask for forgiveness, love all the characters in his family, and he has to say, I'm sorry, can you forgive me? So he ends up learning his important life lesson. So there you are. Again, your job, new creative characters, somebody that a child is going to really enjoy. If you would like to aim your stories more for a preschool age, that is completely okay with me. You don't need to tag them for an upper elementary. That can be way too involved. So aim for preschool, do something super basic, and I cannot wait to see your books next Wednesday.